Anna.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Anna.
I have a question. After all these years, I still don't really understand the inquiry, how much you try to give it to us. I feel into my body and that gives kind of rest. But then when I do the question, it doesn't work. It is like an automatism because you cannot do it all the time. And I understand when Punja did ask you the question, it is different. Or when you would ask me the question, it would also be different. And when I ask myself the question, nothing happened. Yeah, it doesn't work. That's the question.
You know, what do you think working means?
Working?
Yeah. When you say it doesn't work.
Working.
Okay. Yeah, what is...
yeah. Then I expect to have something like a revelation or something like that. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this question, who are you?
Yeah.
We can play with it a little bit and see, okay, and the thoughts come and go.
Yeah.
So then the question, are you your thoughts?
No.
Can't be, yeah? Because they're coming and going all the time, different ones, different things. Then, you know, we have beliefs, but beliefs also change over a lifetime. So are you your beliefs?
No.
No, not beliefs, not thoughts. How? So, and then we can say, you know, this body or bodying, this, are you this bodying? Because it's also changing all the time.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so we see, so we're just eliminating now, yeah?
Yeah.
So are you your possessions?
No.
Not your possessions, okay. Then are you your experience? Because your experience also is changing all the time.
No.
Yeah. So it doesn't leave much, yeah?
Am I all of this? What you...
Well, you're none of them.
No.
Yeah. So then, you know, we come to, in this moment, all we ever have is experiencing sensations.
Yeah.
And usually those sensations are interpreted through our conditioning and our trauma. Yeah. So we end up with an idea or a feeling about reality, but it's an interpretation, it's a dream, it's not. So then the question is, who's aware of that? It must be you. Okay, then who are you? You're not the experience, you're not the emotions that come and go, you're not the thoughts, you're none of those things. So all this is just a way of pointing that there's no, you're not you know, you're there whether there's a revelation or no revelation. You're there always. Beyond everything. But it's not an experience, it's not a realization, it's just a simple recognition, you know. somehow. Just like, if you don't have a television, there might be all the television signals, but you don't see any TV. Right? You need the television to read, to get the signals. Same way, like if you shine a flashlight at night into the night sky, the light disappears, yeah? Unless there's something that it shines on. So experience just, it's appearing in awareness. You could say it's kind of like the screen in which everything appears. But what it is, you can't say. So the inquiry is just very simply to bring attention back to resting, not to running after the contents of awareness, not running after thoughts, feelings, anything. Just, okay, they're all appearing in awareness, in space, however you want to speak it, yeah? And just that space is here. Otherwise, we couldn't speak of anything. But it's not a revelation, it's not an experience, it's beyond all those things.
So it is more a kind of meditation, the inquiry.
You could say it like that, yeah. I mean, whatever you want to call it, it's just a deep seeing, yeah. Always, this, you can call it the screen, this capacity to recognize is here. It's not an experience. It's not a conceptual construct. Just right now, awareness is here, but you can't say what it is. No one has ever been able to say what it is. Other than the experience of now appears in it.
I had glimpses, but they came from nowhere, not when I was inquiring or it just happened.
So what do you call a glimpse?
A very wide feeling that everything, that you suddenly see that everything is beautiful and love and light, but you don't understand that normally you don't see it.
Yes, I understand. And when that experience happened, who was aware of it?
I don't know.
You have to say you. Who else could be aware of it?
Yeah.
There was awareness of that experience.
Yes.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter if the experience is blissful and wide and beautiful, or whether the experience is terrible. Awareness is still there. But when it gets wide like that and it feels beautiful, and we go, ah, this is lovely, yeah? This feels like home. This feels like
Yes.
what I want, yeah.
Yes.
But it's deeper than even that, you see. That's the thing. But that will open up if your attention doesn't run after thoughts and feelings. It will kind of settle just in that wideness. But that wideness doesn't matter what experience happens. You're still there, always. So not to confuse who you are with a glimpse or with any experience.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what will happen is something will be trying all the time to get back to a certain experience, a certain feeling, and there'll be effort. And it'll seem like there's somewhere to get to, there's someone to get there. And so your life will be spent trying to come back to an experience you once had somewhere.
Yeah.
So now when you're resting, there's not much thought, right?
No.
It's relative. No, yeah, it's just quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. No more question.
No.
Great. It's good to get, when there's a confusion, it's good to have somewhere where we can bring it and have a look together and see, okay, no problem. Just a misconception, that's all.
Yes.
Good. Thanks, Anna.
Thank you so much.
This morning I was sitting with some people that have this interest, and this guy was telling me how he notices how often his attention moves from awareness. And so he'd made a practice of forgiving himself for that. And so I said to him, actually, there's a confusion there, because when you forgive yourself, it reinforces the idea that you did something wrong. But if you look, that movement of attention isn't something you do. It's automatic and unconscious, so nobody's doing it. And so that forgiveness just reinforces the idea of you. And he went, oh, I'd never seen that before. Far out. seemed like a nice thing to do, to forgive himself. But in actual fact, he was making trouble. Vedanta.
Hello, Isaac. This is touching something when you say this. Yeah, it's so subtle, this idea there was something wrong because the system was a lot moving. Then a place where it came something to peace. And now I want to hold it, you know, nothing doing wrong anymore. Something like this is playing. So, and I could see it the days. But when you were just speaking, it was like, oh, like I go, yeah.
I mean, in a way, you know, it's tricks of our thinking. Our thinking just fools us. Yeah.
Yes, again.
But you know, like for example, a plane when it's flying, most of the time it's off course. It's constantly making course corrections to go to the right place. So if the plane every time it made a course correction, had to forgive itself first.
Yeah,
it doesn't. It just makes the correction.
No, yeah, my God, this is work. Like,
yeah,
this is crazy.
So you know, once we notice, oh, attention has moved, and in that moment, just to bring it back. That's all. It's just a course correction, just like that.
It's so beautiful, simple, and really nothing wrong, nothing right, nothing to be achieved.
Exactly,
something like this. This whole working on oneself is again activated. Then yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I would love also just to sit a moment.
Of course, welcome.
Silently. I try. I just remember, but I will see. Mm. Thank you, Isaac. Thank you.
Yeah. Feet.
Hi, Isaac.
High feet. Great feet.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ah,
Hello.
hi.
I would like to give some feedback from the last session,
Oh,
where
good.
I bring up the issue with my parents and underneath with the whole situation in the world, this painful situation. And you advised me to let my heart break open when it comes. And 2 nights after it came, I was waking up with this wow, heavy, something heavy on my heart, and it was sad, and I just remembered this, let it break open, and I cried, and it was
Mm.
not dramatic, but it was so releasing
Mm,
that, see, whatever that is, tension,
mm,
and it came just by itself, and it is beautiful, I have to say. In a way,
mm,
it's so
mm,
moving the heart
mm.
without bringing me out of, yeah, I have to do something. Uh,
Sure.
and I liked also that it came by itself in the middle of the night, and I was just
Mm,
peacefully laying in bed and crying. Uh, Thank you. And thankfulness,
mm,
this is what was left, gratefulness.
yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, when you look at how much energy is spent in most people to try and avoid heartache or pain, and it doesn't work, and the heart gets tight to try and avoid getting hurt. So it hurts all the time to avoid getting hurt, which is nuts. It's crazy.
Mm.
But that's what, that's how it functions for most people. It's just like it gets tight and it stays tight to try and avoid feeling hurt. So it hurts all the time without recognizing it. It's just an unconscious movement. And so when hurt shows up and there's a recognition, oh, it can be here, and it just nothing to try and protect or do anything, but it can just, I use the words break open, but it's in a way it's true. It's just like the pain just allows even a bigger capacity for love to flow.
Yeah, and also that you said you would, for my parents, you would help them if you could. And 2 years ago, or a bit more, I was thinking I lost the house, or we lost the house, and I don't know where to go, and and I thought, maybe I have to go back to help my parents, but we don't have really a strong bond in a way. I love them still, but
Yeah,
then
I
I
understand.
had this accident that I could not walk, first on the right ankle and some time later on the left. So I was 2 years, I could not walk away,
Mhm,
And then I thought, okay, it's might be a sign not to leave that island here, that place. And now I'm really happy that it happened with all that
mhm,
stuff going on.
mhm,
But there was still this, kind of, I have to help them. I must do something. And now I feel, no, I don't have to do. I feel like relieved of that. I can, like you said, call them and give them some comfort and just being there. And this
mhm,
might be best help I can give.
mhm. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Judith.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Judith.
I like to speak a bit.
Please.
Yesterday, we got the news from my sister that there has been found cancer cells in the lymph node. So that is not good news. And the advice is now that she is getting severe chemo and afterwards probably radiation. And she has just a week time to decide what she wants to do. So this is where I find myself and the situation.
So I understand from a human perspective, it doesn't sound like good news.
And we don't know. We don't know.
How do we know what her journey is supposed to be? We don't know, you know. I really, and I'm not just trying to, but how do we know? You know, there's that story where this man had some sons and lived out on a farm, and one day they were riding and they saw a bunch of wild horses. So the son and the father brought them home, and all the neighbors said, "Oh, how lucky, you've got all these horses now. That's increased your wealth." And the man said, "Lucky, unlucky, I don't know. All I know is that we have horses." And the next day, the son was busy trying to get the horses function, you know, that they could use them. And he fell and he broke his leg. And then all the villagers came, "Oh, so sorry, your son that really helps you so much around the farm. He can't help, his leg is broken." The man again said, "Lucky, unlucky, I don't know. All I know is his leg's broken." And a couple of days later, a war was declared, and all the young fit men had to go to war. And then all the villagers again came and said, "Oh, how lucky your son's got a broken leg. He doesn't have to go to war." But it's just this, you know, our thinking wants to contextualize everything and make it good and bad and all that stuff. But
that's true. Yeah.
we
don't know. But I also feel yesterday that I felt so powerless that I can't do anything. And
yeah, but that's not
I
new, right?
Yeah,
You are
that's
powerless.
true.
I mean,
I'm totally powerless.
complete. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always like
and
that.
I also had a big no yesterday. I was yelling to existence, no, not this, not this. And
so just look, who was doing that?
Yeah, it's just happening.
Who's doing that?
I could allow it, and then later it was more like this is just a wave washing through, and then peace
a wave
came.
on the ocean. That's all.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. We love to claim it. Oh, I did it.
Yeah, no.
But no came and expressed itself, and then okay, here I am. So it doesn't mean that sadness doesn't come up, you know, or
no.
But in another sense, it's like, you know, if we had to look at it, what your sister would love is just loving presence without somebody projecting that this is terrible what's happening to her. And, you know, if we believe it's terrible, you know, then how do we actually just be lovingly present? Because we've gone into agreement with you could say somebody, there's a projection there's something terrible happening. And it's not a question of being enlightened or not enlightened or anything like that. It's just like we're just looking. It's easy to go, "Oh, this is terrible what's going on," or "This is great what's going on." But when we really look, we don't know. Just all you could say mental projections. And the story in a certain way, just
Yeah, and yet I find the suffering of needing to go through this. That's just what I found quite difficult to see.
And
just to see and
do we know what that's good for?
No.
We don't. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, sure, it's wow, to go down that road of chemo and radiation, but no one's forcing her. They're just telling her maybe it'll give her a little bit longer to live, maybe. But usually what they don't tell you is that you'll feel terrible, and maybe it works.
Yeah.
But that's it's this funny thing. Everybody's got a different idea of what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and it's like, I find it interesting that a lot of doctors, cancer doctors, would not give their own family chemo and radiation.
Yeah.
But you can't tell that to someone. You can't even tell that to your sister. She's got her journey, and like at this point, she's doing it. And what can you offer?
She's not yet totally clear if she wants to move on with this. But I think that it will go in that direction.
Yeah. I mean, how can I say she's down that track?
Yeah.
So that's, like in a sense, it's like it's a journey.
Yeah.
Just like any journey, just like we hear. And what we know, everyone we love is gonna die. And when dying happens, we can't take a cent with us, we can't take any properties with us, we can't take anything. It's just, it's just. So, if you really look, so understand this feeling sad and like that. But it's that sadness is a sign of, you could say it's like a sign of love in some funny kind of a way, in a certain way. But it also without meaning to, it's projecting that something's bad is happening. And I'm sure consciously that's the last thing in the world you'd want to be doing. It's like something happens to someone and we go, oh, I'm so sorry that that's happening for you. And somehow we've confused that with compassion. We think, wow, that's really a nice thing to say to someone. And usually, the response is, oh, thank you. But really, what is it doing? If you look deeply, what does it do when you say that to someone? Oh.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also not to be flippant, but it's just looking. It's, okay, here you are. We don't know how long you have with your sister.
No.
And So, what is the
the worst thing for me is this the worst thing I think for me is seeing her suffering and not being able to do anything.
Sure. So does
But
it?
I just can only be, and there's nothing I can do. Yeah.
No, exactly. So you see suffering, and does it assist to go to join in the suffering?
No, and it's not so
If you look,
easy
it
to
doesn't.
stay
Yeah.
out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help,
No.
even though it, it feels like it's a way of showing love. So I would say that there's some entanglement there that's worth exploring. It's not wrong, it's not bad, it's just an opportunity. Someone that is meaningful to us, and then something, when we see something happening to them, something in us go, like, how could I say it, automatically, unconsciously moves in a certain way. No bad intention. And it feels, it feels very human and all that stuff. But how rare is it to take a moment and go, okay, I'm here. And I know if anything heals, love heals. If anything heals. Because love is, another way of saying love is it's like there's no movement away from. There's a complete full embrace. And if that cries, then no problem. But if the crying is through a projection, it's a very different crying. And that's worth inquiring into, in my view, anyway.
Yeah.
There's a story with Ramana that I've told a few times because for me it's meaningful. This woman came to Ramana and her whole family had been wiped out in an accident. And she was devastated. And she'd gone around to all these different swamis and I said, oh, it's their karma and like this and whatever, like trying to comfort her. But when she came to Ramana, he sat with her and he just wept with her. And when they were done, the sadness was gone. But that can be so easily misunderstood to really to try and deal with the feelings by believing in them somehow, like that. Such a thin line there. It's
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. When I'm with you now, do you feel I'm trying to distance myself from the sadness in any way?
No.
For me, sadness is beautiful. It's fine for me. Yeah. But I'm just interested in the nuances of it. Yeah. So that we can.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet sadness. Yeah. But also just to. Yeah. On the other side of that whole conversation, like, I don't know if you've seen Jim Carrey, the comedian actor. He said, I wish everybody could become famous and rich so that they can see it doesn't bring happiness.
Mm.
And neither does having cancer bring unhappiness. It's like, it's yeah, it's like that.
Mm. always coming back to that neutral position. No?
Sure. Yeah. You know, I mean, ultimately that's the love affair, because everything else is just off course. It's just like wind. And it's not about acting enlightened. It's just recognizing just a shift of attention that went into, yeah, off track, I would say it like that. The end of this idea of karma is really seeing through this whole idea of good and bad.
Mm-hmm. And really this not knowing what it's good for, not knowing why you need to go through this, just
Exactly.
not knowing.
Yeah. You know, and as far as I can see, what assists us is when we recognize that an emotion is a movement away from. The word, how do you say emotion in Dutch?
Emotie.
Emotie.
Yeah.
Sometimes language really, in English, it means with movement. E is with, and motion is movement, yeah, with movement. Nothing wrong with the movement, nothing right with it, just to see what how consciousness functions. Yeah, it's just that opens up the capacity to just rest as what we've always been, you know. Beyond the cycles of good and bad, life and death, beyond the beyond of the beyond. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Judith.
Thank you.
Yeah. And let's just go to gallery view again, you know, for a moment, and just check in with the community. And was this inquiry useful to anybody? Anyone got some value out of it? Just yeah, great, just to see. Yeah. And in any way, is it discounting or making emotions wrong, or is it just seeing clearly? That's all. They're wrong. They just give us a sign that we've just moved off course. Attention has moved off course. That's all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Judith. Mahima.
Hello.
Hello?
I'll just say this one quick thing up front, Judith. My brother's going through his big brain tumor, and he's gone through quite a bit of chemo, radiation, and he doesn't live near me. And I'm grateful that he doesn't live near me, because then there's the pattern in me that I should be doing something and I'm involved, but I do feel it energetically. It's like, so I have to focus to come back to, I don't know if you want to call it awareness, love, that kind of thing. And so, I mean, I was the oldest and all of them were quite younger, but still I have a love for him, and there's this connection that I feel, and it's been a hard road, but anyway, yeah, it brings up a lot of stuff about my son and last year, so anyway, but the question that I had was, when Swaha was speaking about when we have some pain or whatever, like here it has to do with the system, and the thoughts come in, and I say, if I had a choice, these would, I wouldn't choose these thoughts. So I have some days that seem pretty kind of more smooth, and this is comparing the horses and not having to go to war in a way, what you said. And then the next day I just feel like I just don't want to be here anymore, and and then these really bad, scary thoughts come in, and it's like I can't stop them or something. And I'm like, where are these coming from? And then I feel angry, and I might sit and do some breathing and get quiet. And then when you're talking to Swaha, and she said about, I wasn't on that night about letting your heart break open. And I know that's just a sentence or whatever, but there's like, who is the I, but give into it and let tears come, or be angry and throw something, or just sit, and and when I'm in the middle of it, it's so heavy, it's very heavy, and I lost the appetite and a lot of things, I welcome any feedback that you might have. I just sat
to me, when you drive a car?
Yes.
Okay. Have you ever been driving and you suddenly notice you're driving towards something and you just course correct?
Yes.
Okay. So we've all had that experience of course correcting, yeah?
An accident or something, yeah.
Yeah. Suddenly you're going and you didn't see something, or you need to brake, or whatever the thing. It's just a course correction, yeah? So here we are, and we have a love affair with awareness. And at the same time, we have conditioning and trauma. Yeah. So, for most of these expressions of life that we call human beings, yeah, that's the case. Maybe here and there someone without, but rare. So, there's going to be opportunities.
Yeah, I felt I sat for a couple hours tonight, and a picture of a birth canal came in.
Yeah.
And this is like right now. It feels most. I don't know, more intense than it's ever felt or something. Like
Yeah.
labor.
So when you're driving a car,
Hmm?
and how many different circumstances are there where you have to have a course correction?
Like we probably are making them all the time.
Exactly.
Watching.
Almost all the time. So can you have a preconceived notion of how you should respond? Or what that would do?
Automatic after driving so many years, I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's automatic. And so the same thing. It's just like, okay, so somehow our attention looks through a filter. And is there a specific way to autocorrect? I don't. To me, it doesn't seem like it. It just seems like, okay.
It would be nice, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like
This would be the $1 million.
yeah. Yes. It's like here's your checklist. At some moment it might be that inquiry would just redirect attention. At another time it might be just someone that can rest with you. Or it can be like listening to a tape or picking up a book that you particularly resonate with. There's so many different ways of resourcing. Maybe going for a walk, or it's just or listening to music, or whatever.
Energy if I just can get myself to stop, so I'm trying to fix it or something, rather than just stopping and just running energy and just staying.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. It's just like this. You can't. It's too many variables. I mean, it depends on the depth of the touch, whether it's touching old trauma, whether it's trauma. There's no.
I don't even know. I mean, it could. I feel like it's hormonal, maybe. I don't know. Chemical.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, that's the thing.
I wanted you to have this final answer to.
I'll bottle it and send you a bottle.
Exactly. Yeah. It's I mean, I know several counselors and so forth, and they said right now that it's very intense. Their caseloads and so forth are just more intense than ever right now. So we are going through something more than usual, I guess. It seems like.
Maybe, yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, even that, do we really? I don't know. It's just.
Yeah.
I saw this thing about when a newborn and baby infants, just to soothe them, just even rubbing right here in the middle here. And I remember I had a sweetheart for a while, and I couldn't get to sleep some nights, and he would just take and rub his finger right here, and I would just go out to sleep. Then I saw this thing about lactation and newborns, and just right here, and that it can soothe the whole system. So that's another little self-love, love, whatever you want to call it. It's a loving thing, I guess. And I think that's it. I got hard on myself today. I could see, like, why can't you just snap out of this? I had things I wanted to get done, and then it's just like that just tightens it up more. It's the resistance. But it's good to be here tonight. And I thought it was last night. I thought last night was Thursday, and I tried to go on. I went, oh no, it's Wednesday.
The other night, I nearly forgot that I had a meeting.
Night?
Somebody came over. No, and Tuesday night, someone came over and I was enjoying their company, and then, which is rare, we hardly ever get people coming over, and it was actually one of my son's friends, and somehow he just came by and said, "Oh, it's Tuesday night. Whoa, what's the time?"
I
How
don't.
do you remember which day it is?
I know when you're home, if you don't have some kind of work or schedule of some kind,
Yeah.
for me,
And even if you do, I mean, it's like from one moment to the next. How do you remember which day it is?
have a lot of food that goes bad. Don't watch the dates.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was the 19th still. Thank God for humor. Mhm.
Yeah, that's the thing, is when you use your sense of humor, it's not very funny.
It's not very funny.
No.
No, it's not funny, but sometimes the humor doesn't happen. But I
Yeah.
try. Sometimes I do a fake laugh, and then it ends up being a real laugh.
Yeah.
Because it's goofy.
But even, I mean, it is funny like this, we hear, and how does something course correct? And sometimes it doesn't, and it's like, yeah.
And it's worse after sleeping. I'm noticing that. So if I sleep, 6-7 hours, when I wake up, it's like takes 3 hours or something for me to just. And then it'll either be a good day or a bad day, or a combination of both. Some days it's like, I almost feel kind of normal again today. But there's more not normal right now than normal, whatever that means. Setting on the washing machine. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
And
just
it's such an interesting habit, like we have a moment, and then we somehow project it on the whole day. Oh, it's a good day, or it's a bad day, or something like
Well,
that. Whereas really, it's
tells me it's like it's the heaviness in the body or whatever, the nervousness, the whatever that is, that churns, and that wasn't happening so much. It was more like these bad thoughts were coming in. I say bad thoughts; they weren't pleasant thoughts.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I don't want to think that, and they just kept arising, and I'm like, who's thinking this? Who is it?
Yeah.
The funny game.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it is not funny. In the middle of it, it's not funny. It's like you're caught. So appreciate you, Isaac.
Thanks, Marla. Sandra.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you, Isaac.
Oh, just beautiful. Thank you. Ellen. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Ellen.
Hmm. 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 It's sweet to to yeah, just to wow. And then you see all these sensations and sometimes thoughts that are passing by, and it's like a kabbelend riviertje. I don't
It's
know.
like what?
Een kabbelend riviertje. I don't know how to say this in English. It's
Okay.
Dutch.
Can anybody translate?
Kabbelend riviertje. Nobody knows.
No. Uh-huh.
It's my own experience.
Yeah, beautiful.
Now it's like water, you know, like ooh, and then it's going. Like,
Love, loving love.
mhm. And actually, there was a question, and then it just disappears. And at the same, I just want to say it, you know, it's. I can see I have to make a decision. It's about work. If I go to make a new performance, yes or no. And yeah, wow, there's just not really coming a movement or an answer.
Yeah.
And I can see how the mind is trying to find somewhere an answer.
You know what usually messes us up is
yeah.
that somewhere we have an idea that we have to make the best decision or the right decision or at least a good decision, but we can never know.
No, we don't know.
You can never know. You
No.
don't know. So that's, it's like, in some ways, it's like it's already decided, and it just hasn't shown you yet what the decision is. But yeah, so you can just kind of relax. You don't have to do anything. At some point, you'll just know, or you won't, and you'll just go. And if you don't know, usually it's a no.
Yeah.
It's like, that thing, the decision happens and 5 minutes later we go, man, that was a great decision. And then like 2 hours later we go, oh man, that was a terrible decision. Then maybe a week later we go, oh, not so bad. But when will you know if it was a good decision or not? Until the last breath, you don't know. You just,
No, I really don't know. But I just see there's not coming a movement to.
Of this thing of wanting to make the best decision or the right decision or something, and then it's stressful.
Yeah. We will
Whatever
see.
What's really interesting though is like, at least I find it interesting, is like, these days with the latest scientific equipment and stuff, they can put these electrodes and they can actually watch what's happening in the brain. And they were trying to experiment and see, this question about decisions. And what they found was that the decision happens in the brain just a couple of moments before we become conscious of it. And then we say, oh, I made the decision. But it actually happens before we're aware of it, and then we become aware of it.
Oh, okay.
Which is very far out, it's like, so somehow it happens and we become aware of it, and then we go, oh, I did it. But it's not like that. It happens.
Yeah.
So if I ask you from the perspective that it's already happened, what is the decision?
What again? You say again? Sorry.
From the perspective that the decision has already happened, and just now, what is it?
I don't know. It's movement. It's very clear for me that it's not that I'm making the decision. I just see standing like, okay, let's see where is the movement going. I don't know. But then people asking me all the time, like this pressure of making a decision because they have to sell the stuff. You have to sell the performance. And I said yes, but I really don't know if I'm going to do it. I really don't know. And you never know.
You never know, and that's the thing. We can make a decision this moment, and the next moment it come no, it changed. It changed somehow. It changed.
Yeah. And it's really not so important. It's
no, that's the thing. It's like.
It's really okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's Let's see how it
How it moves, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
That's the best. Just laughing.
Yeah, just laughing and wow.
Yeah.
I really don't know. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's that's just what I'm hear myself saying all the time. I really don't know.
Don't know. Yeah.
Where to go, what is it going to.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more like to fall back in this resting,
Yeah. That's it.
resting, and then you see what will move.
What happened there?
Yeah, but it's like there's this thought or the mind that's like, yeah,
So
but
you need to know where you're going. I
yeah,
mean, John Lennon, he had such a way with words. He said, life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Mm, yeah. Good to hear this again.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Lily.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh. something inside that's looking for something like an experience, and I'm trying
Good
to
to
go
recognize.
into yeah.
So here's a trick question, just to see how much attention you've been paying. Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. What's your favorite experience?
Oh, just loving love. And the glimpse came in, and it's like, okay, it's wanted, and then.
So why is it a trick question, that question?
Because the mind comes in with trying and concepts and not having it.
Okay, so let's try that question again. What's your favorite experience?
I don't know what's happening now. I'm not gonna think it. No. Oh wow. Ah. Oh. Wow.
You know, somehow it's like to answer that question, you got to refer to the past, and I mean, it's all this. It's interesting. It's just like I don't have a clue. Yeah, it's like.
When you said you're ready, I knew it's going to be a curly one. Oh, wow. Oh, oh. I'm so grateful.
Same question, but just different. What's your worst experience?
Oh.
If you start looking for anything, then, you know, like again, it's just just somewhere in a memory of something, or, you know, like.
You're not present. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of moments happening at the moment because there's a lot. I got a family gathering on Sunday. And I just it's sort of like I want to be there in parts, not totally.
Just call them on Zoom.
It's so weird because there's lovely stuff happening, and then there's another side of things, and it's always like that with us. And it just, I walk away, you know. I walk away. It's like, oh, it's heavy, you know. It's that, whatever. So it's sort of, that's why there's a lot of
again, you know, just this whole thing. Our thinking thinks it can categorize, slice life up, and label it and all this stuff, but
okay.
You know, and it's the same phenomenon, like, oh, a family gathering, and then attention going to the past, or other past, and then projecting it into the future, and then thinking we know, you know, trying to prepare for that, you know, something based on what? Yeah.
Oh.
Just, yeah, this is it. This is as God as it gets.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Many thanks. Many thanks.
cool. Mr. Feet, Mr. Hands. Okay.
Isaac, if we continue like this today, you know, nobody you will say any, will tell any story, any, no anymore. Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. So I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it is so funny to watch how just thoughts come and they get the lead for a second or two, and then funny, and they disappear. And the next one comes, and or not. Somehow you muted. I don't know what happened. I don't hear you. Great, thanks, Feet.
Ah, okay. Thank you, Isaac.
Yeah, perfect. On a practical level, for people that have signed into the retreat, are you getting confirmations from Jonathan? I'd just like to hear how they're actually doing. You're not getting confirmations. Bettina did, and anyone else got a? Yeah, Trent got one, and you got one, Marcus. Good ones. Okay, so some people yes, some people no. Cool. Okay, trying to work out the kinks.
Can I say something?
Sure.
So it's Gaia speaking. Yeah.
Yes, I
So, but I
recognize.
just wrote today even an email to them that I registered 10 days ago but didn't get any confirmation or anything. So I hope now they will react.
Will respond, yeah.
You sent a link somehow, and it was an English one, and they have on their website also a German link, and I used the German one, so maybe there's some confusion.
Yeah, anyway, it's like
they were always late and little chaotic. This is what I remember. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, I did put in a request that they kind of give a speedier response when people book, but let's see what happens from that. Gaiji.
If nobody wants your attention, then I take it.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you. Just like to report a little bit that for 2 days now, I see a light in the end of the dark tunnel. Yeah, it looks like everything goes its way here, and the flat will be really empty at 21st of August. And
wow.
Yeah, and everything is prepared to leave the country and go to Spain or Canary Islands.
Yeah, cool.
And it's funny because I could have known that already 8 weeks before. So, somehow, even everybody said, Gaia, come on, you make it anyway, you know it. But I couldn't believe it. The internal pattern was stronger somehow, and said, there will be so much hustle. And I had a lot of hustle, but yeah, now it's easier.
Yeah, cool.
And thank you for all your support in that time. That was so helpful. And also the Sangha, for me, it was every time I could resource here so well and so good.
Yeah, beautiful.
But it seems to me it was somehow a kind of test from the universe for me. Somehow it felt like that I really should experience that stress, and you have to make this decision and this and this and this, and in the end to notice all the stress was not needed, but it was there.
Yeah. I mean, that's the paradox, just to see. We can know it and then still something plays.
Yeah, there was still the thing, even when we were looking together and there was clear there's nothing to do. Somehow there was again, but if I don't empty that flat, who will do it? Or if this guy will not do it, this guy has to do it, and this is my experience very much. And great to notice how quick the brain or whatever can be fooled. Or me, I don't know. Me actually not, but
yeah, pattern plays in the background and shows up as stress or something.
Yeah. So I don't know if I can join on Sunday, but I try the best. And yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Birgitta, and then Marcus afterwards. Birgitta now.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi, Birgitta.
Hi. I would like to sit with you. There's some inner nervousness going back to I went camping again for 3 days, 4 days now. And now I'm going back home and back to medical appointments. I discovered a little, yeah, how do you say that? A little lump in my right breast again, the same that I had cancer before last year. So I have a checkup on Tuesday. I think it's okay. It feels like there's nothing the matter, but and there is this, and I'm so inquiring. I think that's the best word about attachment to the body. How because of all this physical stuff, it seems. And there is on a certain level there's a franticness to survive and to do my utmost, and while at the same time I know I'm not this body. So that's what I'm sitting with.
You know, with when Popji was in hospital in the final days of his journey, he was saying, you know, for him it was not a problem to transition, whatever you want to call that. But he watched how the body was really gasping for air. It wanted another breath. It wanted another breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of it is of course very primal survival instincts.
Could be, you know. I mean, but I see like there's some cultures, you know, like in Africa, when somebody's really sick, instead of being a burden on their families and stuff, they go out into the bush and let hyenas take them. Like, you know, you've seen it in those American Indian movies where, you know, nomadic tribes, and they got to leave, and the old people know that they'll slow the tribe down and actually cause other people to die, and they say their goodbyes and they go out to just give themselves over, you could say. Like it.
Are you suggesting I'm going into the bush?
No, I'm just saying, there's just, you know, like there's this, how can I say, there's different ways in which it plays.
Yeah.
There is no right way or wrong way, just it's, you know, you're inquiring about like this franticness around taking care of the body, knowing that that franticness doesn't assist, and yet something still sits in this nervous system that functions in that way. And
yeah, and in that way makes the body and this illusion real, you know, more real than the other.
I mean, if I'm talking from my experience, when last year, when all of a sudden this body started blacking out, and you know, like the doctor said, there's no guarantee the next time you black out, you're going to wake up. And okay, that's useful information. Somehow, you know, it was like, okay, I just don't know. It's just like it can be that this is
No, and I can live with the I don't know, and yeah,
and then like so
there
it
is
was like
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just to watch what for me. I was surprised. I didn't know. I thought it'd be interesting to see if it ever comes to that circumstance, how it would play in me. And it felt okay. I mean, it's like okay, like so. Can't drive anymore. Okay, can't drive. Cool. Okay, then can't swim anymore by yourself. Can't get on a ladder anymore. All the things that I was very kind of busy with. And, okay, can't make a big fire anymore because you could just black out, fall in the fire, all that stuff. So
yeah,
it's like okay, I can't. That's that's just this part of the journey. Okay, then if
but you
it'll
never
change,
got irritated or
somehow not. I don't know why. It didn't happen.
No.
So, yeah, it was just like there was a period of time when I was, like it's like I'd sit in my bed and all of a sudden I would feel, oh, I'm going to go pass out right now, just in my bed. And, geez, I have no idea. It's like at any moment it can happen. I'm just gone.
Yeah.
So I don't know how, why it's like that. It was like that for me. I didn't know how it would be if I was faced with that circumstance. But then just
yeah.
Funny. I think I told the story one night. I woke up and my heart was doing this strange thing. It was like beating really fast and then skipping beats and like all this shit. And I went, geez, okay. I probably should go to the hospital. Although I don't know what the hell they'll do, but and then it was cold outside. Oh, Jesus, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up in this cold. Wake Mike up and tell her to take me to the hospital. I'll just look. I'll either wake up in the morning or I won't. I went back to sleep.
Yeah, I've had that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then I woke up, but I don't know why. It's like it's just interesting to watch. We hear, okay, there could be a lump here, and then the mind wants to kind of you just watch it race or do something, and it's like, oh, okay, well, it's trying to help. Yeah.
No, but it's the first day it was really active, and then there was this on the surface there was much more peace and quietness, and I could feel an undercurrent of apprehension. I think that's the best word. And then that disappeared as well. And now I'm packed, and now I have to leave in a half hour, and now I'm like, oh, what the fuck.
Yeah, you are. We're sitting together, and
yeah.
There it is. This is this moment, And, I think part of the glue is thinking that, like that however the system responds means something about you or has something to do with you. If you can clearly see it has nothing to do with you, then yeah, let it do its thing. It's just doing its thing. Why trouble?
Yeah, your expression that the body is bodying is in that sense really putting it in its right place.
Yeah.
If there is a place for a body.
Yeah.
I don't know that even. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. And good luck with, I mean, when I say good luck, what does that even mean? It's like, enjoy the ride as much as you can and just watch what
comes up.
Take every opportunity, you know, shit.
Yeah, no, on Monday I have the MRI for my jaw for that determination, and then Tuesday this, and then it's like, okay. Yeah. It's a ride, right.
Yeah. Moment by moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool, Brigitte. Yeah.
Big hug.
Then to you. Marcus.
Yeah. Hello, Isaac.
Hi, Marcus.
I'm very touched by what has been said and shared today. Yeah, and there's also nervosity in my system. So we have sold our condominium yesterday.
Well, congratulations.
Yes.
Next movement.
And now the same work as Gaia has done will have to be managed here, empty the apartment and selling stuff and doing all the paperwork and so on.
Sure.
Not knowing, is it the right decision, the wrong decision? How will it be like in November? And it's like a ride, yeah. It's like like an adventure.
Sure. Yeah, like, you know, in one way, you're in the unknown, but we're always in the unknown.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Very. I will be, or I already feel being in the unknown as much as I've never been before.
Well, beautiful. So,
no work, no pension scheme, no
anything, yeah. So. And you'll probably find there'll be moments that you're really enjoying, and there'll be moments when you're not. And it's not dependent on circumstance. That's the only good thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
I love the way you explained what is happening here to Anne at the beginning of this session. It was very precious, very clear and very slow.
You know, it's like, it's a funny thing for me. A lot of times when things are coming up, I just look at, wow, there's so many people on the planet that don't have enough to eat even. And, you know, yeah, the mind is troubling me about this or that. I go, oh, it's just crazy. It doesn't make, it's not related to anything, you know. It's just first world problems or third world problems, or, I mean, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, beloveds.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bas, for hosting. Thank you all for showing up.
Thank you.
Love, peace, beauty. Ciao.